Data is powerful, but records, well, that's your entire story right there. Let me explain. Imagine you've got a jigsaw puzzle. There's scattered pieces all over the place. Each piece, that's data. A name, an email address, a phone number. On their own, they're pretty harmless. But piece by piece, they become information. You see a face, a house, a person, you see the bigger picture. And when the full puzzle comes together, well, that's a record, a full contextualized, meaningful story of someone's life, their habits, their identity, their business. Now imagine the whole puzzle fell into the wrong hands. That's what ISO 27001 Annex A 5.33 protection of records is all about. Because the standard doesn't just want you to protect data, it wants you to protect the entire picture. So what does the clause actually state? Well, it states that records shall be protected from loss, destruction, falsification, unauthorized access, and unauthorized release. Why? Because a single piece of data being exposed is bad, but exposing the entire record, well, that could be devastating. But just pause for a moment. Remember what I just said. The standard requires that you look for the protection from loss, destruction, falsification, unauthorized access, and unauthorized release. So there's 5 aspects to this important control. Why is this important? Well, let me give you an example. We worked with a large law firm. They were professional, very reputable, and they were handling very sensitive client records, as you can imagine. But their process for archiving case files, physical case files, was simply to box them up, wait for a courier, and then send them off. Sounds okay, right? Except those boxes, well, they were left sat in reception unattended for many, many hours, sometimes for days. Anyone walking in could easily see them. Anyone walking by could easily perhaps open a box and take some information out of them. They could access them and take them anywhere. Complete legal records just sitting there like yesterday's post. That just wasn't good enough. So we changed the process, secured the area, and trained staff so that they knew that information and records couldn't just be held in a public space. That's the kind of action that this control demands. But what is the auditor going to be looking for when they look at this particular control? They're not just asking, do you have a records policy? They're checking that your other controls actually protect records. And these other controls include things like data retention policies, information classification, which we discussed in Annex A 5.12, secure data transfers, Annex A 5.14, access management, incident response plans, of course, Annex A 5.24, and the PII protection as well, which is under Annex A 5.34. So there are many different controls that the auditor is going to be looking to see how you addressed those controls in relation to this. But if you've done these things right, then protecting records becomes pretty straightforward. But here's a key question. When all your information comes together, have you done enough to protect it? Because that's what a record is, everything in one place. So what do you need to do? Well, there's some very simple steps. First of all, review how records are stored, transferred, and archived. Think about how your policies and processes come together to protect the full picture. If you're moving records, whether physically or digitally, Make sure you apply the same or even stricter controls. Ask yourself, would I be comfortable if this full record was to be accessed and to be released without my consent or without full controls? If the answer is no, then you need to strengthen your controls. Now, in terms of questions we get asked about this particular control, people often say, do I need a separate records policy? And the answer is no. But you do need to prove your existing policies do cover records as well. Another question we're asked is, do some records need special treatment? And the obvious answer to that is yes, absolutely, in line with your data classification process and policy. Think financial records, health records, or anything of a sensitive nature deserves extra care. And that should have already been classified and flagged, as I've said, under your classification of information, which is Annex A 5.12. So here's the truth, the final thoughts around this. A leaked record isn't just a data breach, it's a breach of trust. It's a story laid bare. Yours, your clients, your customers. And once it's out, you can't put the puzzle back in the box. So I hope that's been helpful. If this did make you think differently about data and records, I've just asked you to do 3 things for me. Hit the like button because people need to understand why records are important and why they matter. I'd love to hear your comments. What's the most sensitive records your company handles or that you've seen handle negatively? Please don't name or shame. And don't forget to subscribe. We're dropping these videos every single week and we hope they're helpful, so we don't want you to miss anything. But thanks for watching. I'm Gary from Consultants Like Us. And as I always say, we make security simple, human, and we provide compliance without complexity. We translate the technical jargon into plain English. So until next time, protect your data, and that includes your records. Bye-bye.